plays games with Steve
and Angel. All right, let's go to the office. Let's go to the office.
Right.
All right, it's a party.
It's a party, Bobby.
It's a party, Bob.
Bob. The falsifying evidence. Whoa, where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Little Miss Bach.
Is this organ voiced by Tim Curry?
And CG?
Oh, God. Oh, I didn't... Who was that? What did that say?
Is this the final battle in Ocarina of Time?
I never could remember where C was.
Ah!
Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Mr. Wright, have you been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement? Oh, you mean the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there?
Yeah, I've seen bigger.
It's not a contest. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
Oh, I see a thingy.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Can you, Angel?
Oh,
Too late.
I guess I'll never know.
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
Seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. Sorry.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office.
Just gotta sneak in through the fence.
Penetrate the defenses, secure the disc,
Didn't we
and
come from a different?
we came from criminal affairs.
But we're outside the other one
Because
now?
that's where the chief's office is.
They told us where it is.
Okay.
But you know, why don't we go back to the criminal affairs department?
Okay.
Hey, pal.
Oh, jump scare.
Detective Gumshoe, were you in a meeting?
I was, just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long in the meeting?
Actually, I had to serve everyone coffee.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
Yeah, that's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes. Do. It's crisis.
Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence he presents in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Those who don't like him haven't been able to do anything because of his amazing talent as a prosecutor. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, not only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only had that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies.
Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work!
Yes, sir!
Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat.
Yes, sir!
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir!
Seems you don't have any problem with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack? You mean...
When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Might jog his memory.
Fucking hold a knife up to his fucking face.
Yeah. Do you remember this?
Hey, Detective, remember this?
Put it down. I want no trouble. This guy, right?
About this.
I don't want no trouble. Hey, don't tell me that.
There's a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
None of your business.
Oh, I already forgot.
Oh, I give up.
This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
It's Joe Mama's.
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, and it had his fingerprints on it, too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive. Okay. Let's talk about his crimes.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So, it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came on the scene and he was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
Oh my god.
I hate to say that's almost kind of comical.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is like, oh, they go, ah!
Oh no, the school field trip.
And then we got a football stadium. I had to kill everyone at the
And
Super Bowl.
And the Queen of England just happens to be visiting.
And then everybody watching the Super Bowl.
Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but fortunately he was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
That last witness. You must mean Emma.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
Chief's out now. His office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
No.
So in other words, Gumshoe was our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Would we have that right now?
No.
Okay.
No. 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 And you never will. Don't even try it. And don't cry. It's okay.
I want to go back to this guy's office.
I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is. Looks like he's writing something.
Huh? What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor.
That was not Steel Samurai fanfiction.
Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings.
So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact.
Talking about this as if they weren't doing that for like the 4 other cases or whatever.
No, he was always he was always suspected of doing it.
Yeah, he never actually did it.
Yeah. But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility is the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up.
He was writing a poem.
You up for the trial tomorrow?
Phoenix and Miles sitting in a tree? What? What is this? Don't worry about it. First, last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me.
You're obsessed with me.
To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors.
Professors.
I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
That list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but at the time there was only one thing on my mind. I'd use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty.
Say, we just saw a picture taken from that time. Taken around that time.
That picture. Something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh, yeah. Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right.
Okay. I always just assume I have to get a fourth one out. Oh, the picture. I forgot that was like an actual thing that we had in our evidence.
This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office.
It's not that big, though. Okay. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy Mr. Marshall's holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now.
Remember what?
That was the official prosecutor trophy used until that time. There's a story behind it.
A story?
What's the story, Edgeworth?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
Such a big imagination for such a little twink. It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake.
Very well.
Is it like the Yu-Gi-Oh card? Shield and sword?
Sword.
Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. Am I on trial right now? The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Objection! Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
And then that man was executed.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. That's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Chief Gant.
Ooh.
Chief Gant.
Chief Gant. God, we have to go all the way around. Oh. There's some more stuff. Excuse me. I had a feeling. Right, if you care for a quarter-pound of roast beef.
Miss Star! I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
Sorry, the visual of the first person doing that. It was that Japanese game show where like they have to find what in the room is made of chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
It's the door handle, and the guy bites into it, and he just turns. He's like, Yeah, that's what the guy who discovered milk from a cow did. Anywho, everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness?
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Everyone gets the sad music now.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure.
Right there.
Right there. We always had to go right there. So I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then.
Jake, that area is out of our jurisdiction. No, right there. Right there, damn it.
Right there. Those days are steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo.
Legendary duo. Lana Gant. Sorry.
Lana and Chief Gant. I guess irrelevant, I gotta talk about them. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. 2 years ago, Gant was chief detective, and Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal.
His magnetism?
By that, I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled.
Incredible evidence? You mean...
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though.
I take it she's talking about forged evidence.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Oh, really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall? When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Star. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why'd she have to turn so cold after that? After case close. Well, there'll never be an after case close. That show will go on forever and ever. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious that evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you didn't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Sky transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. I always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Sky was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
She was being used?
Being used?
Being used? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There's only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred?
If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her to change.
At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Try going back to
Edgeworth's?
Edgeworth's.
Yeah.
There's something. Do you remember not talking to him? Maybe look.
His shield?
Remember I made a joke in the beginning?
About this thingy?
No.
Or
I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there, like at the seat of the desk.
I can hear you also. Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth! Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no! He's falling to the ground!
Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet.
He didn't even look.
What? Letter
If you can't read, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean...
I'm tired, Mr. Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died.
But, Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I could use it for anything.
I'm gonna use it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
How you gonna use it, Angel?
How you gonna use it?
How you gonna use it, Angel?
Don't know yet, Meow.
Oh, well, you got a whole day to think
You
about
got a whole day to think about it, Angel.
Okay.
Come on, Angel, you gotta...
Yeah, I gotta think about.
You gotta think of what you
wow,
wanna
all
do.
the Meowths are here. All right.